So today we're going to talk about how to handle objections. I've done this presentation in Orlando. I've also done this presentation the other night in Brisbane, and that's about all. So this particular one's been updated, and it really hits home. It's a bit of a different type of training of how to handle objections. Most people really just talk about the scripts and role playing the actual words on how to handle each and every objection. I want to show you how to get rid of most of your objections in your business. So let's get started. Well, first thing you need to understand is these are going to happen. You are going to get objections in your business. They are absolutely inevitable. It doesn't matter whether you're Kim Wee, Jason Karamatas, Lyndon Binoff, top network marketers, or someone starting for the first time, you are going to get objections. Now, the next slide I'm going to talk to you about is one way that you can eliminate a lot of the objections that you're getting. And one of the best ways to do that is you need to have 100% belief in what you're doing, 100% belief in network marketing, in Jeunesse, in the products, in the people, in everything that you're doing. If you're 99% on the belief level, well, people are going to pick up on that subconsciously, and you're going to get all sorts of objections. You won't even know why. It's because it pours out of you that 1% of doubt is much stronger than your 99% of belief. So that's a journey that you have to go on to get it up to 100% plus, by attending these types of webinars, all the live events, loving the product, subscribing to network marketing, positive news, all these types of things, just along the journey, hanging out with successful network marketers and positive people, get educated on the industry. That's how your belief's going to continue to go up and up and up. So let me show you how you can basically get rid of 99% of objections really quickly. And it all comes down to you. People are buying into you. They're buying into Jeunesse so far second it's not funny. They're buying into the Jeunesse products secondary. Okay, they're buying into you first. Whether you're talking to them about the products or whether you're talking to them about the business, they're looking at you to see, hey, is this someone that I can trust? Is this someone that I want to get involved in business with? They're very credible. I like them, so I'm going to listen to them about the products because I might want to be a customer. So if you understand this one slide, this could change your whole network marketing business. People join people. People are joining you. They're sitting there across from the table from you. They're sitting there watching you do a presentation. They're sitting there listening to you on the phone. They're listening to you on a webinar, and all they're really thinking, whether they even know it or not, they're just thinking, is this the type of person that I want to get involved with? Okay, and if you are, all the objections go out the window. Okay, they'll work all that stuff out later. Okay, they'll ask you questions about the pay plan. Doesn't matter whether they think they have time or not. Doesn't matter whether they've got money or not. It doesn't matter whether they doubt the program or not. They're just going to get involved because they trust you, they like you, and they believe you're someone that can lead them to success. So you're going to get rid of most of the objections. So who are you? Who are you online and who are you offline? Are you someone amongst your peers that they all look up to, that they all respect, that they all like? Or are you the group clown? And it's okay to be the group clown because everyone needs to have a laugh. That's a very powerful part of it. But no one's joining business with the class clown. Okay, so I'm not saying, to be in network marketing, you have to go and become somebody else. You want to be yourself, but it may just have to be the best version of yourself for business. I hope that makes sense. And a guy said to me the other day in Brisbane, how can I take it to the next level? How can I start to talk to more successful people and have them take me seriously? And I said to him, well, for a start, you've turned up to this meeting in shorts, in flip-flops, and in a singlet. And you're showing all your tattoos, and again, nothing wrong with tattoos, but it's a first impression that counts. It's people's perception of you and where you're going that counts. And so I said to him, look, next time if you turn up in a suit or a bit more well-dressed, people are going to take you so much more serious. The whole perception changes, and people, you watch the different demeanor that people have just from dressing better. Even do a test for yourself. When you're flying at an airport, Have a look at the difference in how people treat you for the exit row, the upgrades, the lounge, all those different things. Even just getting coffee at a cafe if you're wearing a suit, versus your flip-flops. I went into the bank yesterday, and the lady was, pretty flippant with me, not really paying me much attention, almost borderline rude. I was sitting there, I was in my thongs, I was in my shorts, I was in my singlet, just got out of the swimming pool, and I was just inquiring about a few things on my credit card. And all of a sudden she saw my bank account and how much money I had in there in terms of savings, and all of a sudden her demeanor changed. Hey, let me sit you down with the manager. Let me show you the branch manager. Can I get you a water? And, people shouldn't be like that. People should treat you the same every single time. There's famous stories about people going into Ferrari dealerships that are multimillionaires in their flip-flops and shorts and singlets and getting no attention. Now, should the sales staff treat them all equal? Absolutely. Should you treat everyone equal when you're prospecting in network marketing? Absolutely. But the reality is the perception that people have with you often comes down to your dress sense and how you come across. So I found that pretty interesting and a bit of a fun experiment, but it's going to be the same at your network marketing event, and it's not so much fun as an experiment there. So dress for success, dress how you would want people to perceive you. I'm someone that can be successful and show you how to be successful. Dress like that. Have a look at your Facebook, your LinkedIn, your YouTube. Have a look at all your online social media. How do people perceive you on there? And this is a real thing today, whether we think it is or not. If you're someone older that's just got a little bit of a Facebook account, or is someone that hasn't got into Facebook yet, let me tell you that in this industry, if you're talking to people interstate, overseas, people that are entrepreneurs, big networkers, the first thing they're going to do after you've started emailing them, phoning them, Skyping them, they're going to jump on Facebook and say, who is this Joe Blogs person? Let me go and find out what they're all about. Now, if you've got pictures of yourself on Facebook, getting drunk the night before and talking about how you spewed up at the end of your bed, or, you got swear words all over your, Facebook, or half-naked pictures, people are going to make a call on that, rightly or wrongly. They're going to have a perception of that, and you're never going to hear from them again, because Jeunesse is awesome. They're loving the look of the products, but they're just not going to get involved with you. They might not get involved at all, or they might contact someone else in Jeunesse. So the online and social media perception and profile that you have is extremely powerful to work in a positive way, but can also be extremely powerful to work in a negative way. So I'll do some homework tonight and go through your news feed and go, look, would I join with me? Would I join with me if I'm writing that kind of stuff? And if you look through my Facebook, I'm pretty much writing a comment on there that if Richard Branson read it, he would go, this is the sort of guy that I'd have in my business. I would partner up with this guy. So I'm putting lifestyle stuff up there. I'm adding value, motivation, inspiration. I'm putting family up there. I'm putting things up there that people want to get involved with, not to repel people, because I'm conscious that I know people are watching. And if they're not watching, they will be soon. So, that's how I run my Facebook and every single social profile, and how I try and conduct myself offline in front of people as well. So it's about, having that maturity, about being serious about the business. When you're meeting people, you're serious. It doesn't mean you have to turn into a serious person that never smiles, laughs, or has a joke. You go and do that, once the person's enrolled, then you can have a bit of fun with it. Once you get to know them. In the initial sense, their subconscious brain is just thinking to themselves, is this the kind of person that can lead me to success? And if you're there cracking jokes, giggly-gurdy, unsure of yourself, fiddling, umming and ahhing, then that says to them, no, this is not the kind of person. So you just need to harvest that skill. It's not becoming a different person. It's just harvesting a skill at that particular time of your prospect. And I'm sure you guys get that. So who are you online and offline? Make sure you've got that posture. That comes from having the belief in everything that you're doing, having that credibility and that respect. And if you feel like you haven't got it yet, and look, I was, a part of that person, from my teenage years into my early 20s, where, I was really just a larrikin guy from the country that played footy. my footy mates knew me as just a knockabout guy that loved to have a beer with them, and there wasn't much serious there to probably look up to coach them to make $1 million. But once I got on the bandwagon of where I knew I wanted to go in life, and once I started reading the personal development and business books and audios, then I started to realize that I needed to become that person. I started to have some success. I started to have that posture and that demeanor, and now they do respect that and follow that. So, it's not becoming a different person. It's just becoming a better version of yourself for this business, and that'll turn into some confidence. Have some confidence. When you're walking down the street, look up, see the world, don't look down. Say hello to people, go and meet new people, have that confidence. It puts a smile on your face. What's the first impression that you're making with people? Firm handshake, look them in the eye, dress well, okay, find out their interests, be interested in them. Okay, what sort of social proof are you showing people? So have you got a picture of the top leaders and yourself? Have you got a picture of the owners of the company and yourself? Have you got a picture of a big live event in front of lots of people? Have you got a picture of lifestyle? That's the sort of things that people are going to take you seriously for. Okay, and it's very, very simple things to do of get a selfie with a top leader in the industry at a big packed out event, because people want to know that, okay, you went to an event with 100 people. Wow, there must be something in this. If you're just telling people you went to an event with 100 people, they kind of doesn't impersonate on them. They may not even believe you, or they just can't imagine it. You show it to them on your phone, you show it to them on a PowerPoint presentation, all of a sudden you've got social proof. Okay, we spoke about belief before, and then build that rapport and that relationship with that person as quickly as you can. They'll want to join the business with you. Okay, and just start to gather your leadership. All this stuff that you're improving upon is improving your leadership skills. But leadership can be improved really, really quickly just by having knowledge. So the more you know about the company, the pay plan, the industry, the products, the more of a leader you're going to be. Okay, add value to people's day, add value to people's life. And I'm telling you right now, if you do these things, if you become that person, 99% of your objections are going to be absolutely erased. Okay, and if you can target the right people at the right time in their life, then we're starting to get up to 99.9% of not even having an objection. So we want to be targeting those entrepreneurial people, those open-minded people, those go-getters, business people, people that are in salons, personal trainers, they're in sales. Those types of people are going to have more of a chance of not having objections because they're much more entrepreneurial minded. They already know that network marketing is great, so you've just cancelled out a lot of objections. If it's the right time in their life, you're not going to, they might be sitting on Google looking for a home-based business opportunity, and you ring them. You're not going to get too many objections, just the right people at the right time. The more you can improve your skill level of saying the right things, again, you're going to get rid of a lot of the objections. It's not even what you say, it's how you say it. Say it with that confidence, say it with that posture, how to answer the objections, and sharing the information and your story well. We always talk about the importance of your story. Packaging up your story into a 30-second elevator pitch. Packaging up your story that Steven Spielberg would want to make about your journey into 2 minutes. So that's very, very powerful, and understand that you want to share the information through a live event, okay, through a live webinar, through a 3-way call with your upline, through a face-to-face meeting with you and the prospect and your upline. Use the Jeunesse videos, a recorded webinar. So you've got to get good at sharing that information and following up, doing all these things. I'm telling you right now, you won't have to worry too much about answering objections because you just won't get many of them. Unfortunately, though, 99% or even 99.9% still means there's going to get objections every now and again. And even the top guys are going to get them. The top guys are calling top guys. So they're not getting objections like, is this a pyramid scheme? Because they know it's not. They're not getting objections about, I don't have the time or the money, because they don't believe in that kind of mindset. But they might be getting the type of objections of, hey, is Jeunesse still too young a company? I don't want to get involved with a 6-year-old company in case it doesn't make the test of time. Or, is Jeunesse too old a company? Have I missed the boat already? They're the type of objections and questions they're going to be getting from top networkers. We need to know how to answer them. Okay, a lot of the common ones, I don't have time, I don't have the money, sounds great, but there's just no way that I could do this. I don't really know anyone, so this business is not for me. All these really silly objections and questions that you're going to get, I want you to understand one thing. It's really good to be conscious of this, because I see a lot of people in the beginning of their business, so they'll talk a bit about Jeunesse and, hey, would you be interested in this business? And the person across for them says, look, sounds great, but I just don't have the time. And then the Jeunesse distributor says, okay, thanks very much anyway, and off they go. You cannot do that. You'll never, ever build a business that way. Do not let anybody not join your business as a customer or as a business builder because of one of these objections. You got to understand they are not real. People talk in code language. Okay, it's our job to decipher that code, get in their head and find out exactly what they mean, and show them the whole new world of network marketing, Jeunesse, and how they can do this. You see, people will always do what they prioritize. They'll do what they value. So it's our job to show them why they should value Jeunesse, why they should make it a priority in their already busy lives. Okay, so that is the reality, that people will talk in code language. Often they actually believe what they're saying. So people will believe that, I don't have time, which is absolutely ludicrous, because how can you have time and they don't? Okay, and you can talk about my story of starting Jeunesse while I was already working 100 hours per week. And sometimes objections can just be great questions in disguise, So, it sounds great, but I just don't have time. They're testing you out as a leader. If this person can answer this objection about me not having time and show me how I can do it, then I'm actually going to join with them, because right now I just don't see how I can fit it in. Now, if you answer that objection really, really well, you're showing leadership. You're showing that you can lead them in this business. And now you've shown them how they can have time, and they're going to get a good return on that part-time effort with Jeunesse, and now they're in. They were just testing you, and it was a question in disguise. You've answered it well, away we go. So you got to understand the difference between, just the wrong kind of person, the wrong kind of time in their life. There's not much you can do about that. There's not much you can do about cynical people. You give them a block of gold, they'll tell you it's too heavy. Okay, but the difference between cynical and skeptical is okay. Most people are skeptical, so they're just going to test you, they're going to query you, they're going to question you. They can come around and be great networkers. Not much you can do about cynical. Okay, so please do not leave money on the table because someone has an objection. Okay, if they're not the right kind of person, if it's not the right time in their life, there's nothing you can do about that. Nobody can. Follow them up in a month's time, in 6 months' time. Okay, they just haven't got the right mindset, and they're not willing to change to get ahead in life for their family. There's not much you can do about that right now. Okay, but if they've just got an objection or a question, make sure you get good at answering that, or make sure you get good at cancelling that out by the person that you become. Okay, don't leave money on the table. So the objections that we will never get anyway, how do we answer them? Okay, it's a couple of different ways that I like to go about it. The feel, felt, found technique is absolutely brilliant. Will work every single time. Perfect, you're agreeing with them. Answer a question with a question. And I answer every single objection by telling a story. Every single time I'll tell a story. Okay, and an objection can actually be a great way, a great opening for a three-way phone call. So you know what, it sounds really good. I just don't have the money right now. You know what, I know a guy that I'm working with. He's making full-time income with Jeunesse right now. When he looked at this, he didn't have the money either. How about we get you on a three-way call with him, and he can just tell you his story, how he got around that, and it just could be a good alignment with you. And that way you're putting him on a three-way call. We already know how powerful three-way calls are. Not only do you get over that objection, but it works in lots of other ways as well, and they enroll. Okay, never get into an argument, okay, with an objection. So if they say, hey, I don't have time, don't say, yes, you do. Everyone's got 24 hours in a day. No, I don't. I'm busy. Yes, you do. No, I don't. Yes, you do. It's the quickest way for them to never enroll and, never enroll ever. So don't get in an argument. You always agree and sympathetic with their objection, with their questions, but you show them ways that they can get around it. Okay? Listen to them, ask heaps of questions, find their hotspot. Okay? If you can find their hotspot and show them how Jeunesse can get that for them, okay, they're going to enroll no matter what. So let's do a few testers here. Okay, let's say I've spoken to someone or they've seen a presentation, I follow them up, and they say, hey, look, it all sounds really, really good, but I just don't have time. This is how we'd answer it with feel, felt, found. John, I totally know how you feel. I felt the same way too when I looked at this business. I was really, really busy. I had the 3 kids. I was working a job. My wife was working a job. I was coach of the footy team. My wife was, on the committee of the council. We were really, really busy. I felt the same way too. But you know what I found? With just 9 hours a week that we've put in, we've already been able to build our business to sapphire level, and my wife's already taken 3 days a week off work, and in the next 12 months she's going to be quitting her job full time. You don't need a lot of time in this business to get ahead really, really quickly, and that's why we chose it. Okay? So you're agreeing with them, you're empathetic with them, and then you know what I found, and it's pretty hard for them to argue with that. Let's try one more. You know what, Aaron, it sounds really, really good, but I just don't have the money to get started. You know what, John? I know exactly how you feel. I felt the same way too when I looked at this business. I was really, really excited, but I wanted to start at the ambassador pack. I just didn't even have $1,000 to my name. But you know what I found? I found that this was really going to work for me. The group of people that were involved were going to lead me to success, and I just couldn't afford to not do this. I was extremely hungry with the situation that I was in, so I just needed to find a way to make that money and to get started. So the next time my pay came in, I literally didn't pay my rent for that week, and I started with an ambassador pack. I paid double the rent the week after. I found a way to do it. Okay, you show them how it is possible if they want it bad enough. Okay, let's just do one more. Hey, is that not one of those pyramid schemes, is it? You have a bit of a laugh at that one, make them feel a bit silly. I know how you feel. I felt the same way too because I didn't really understand this industry and I thought it could be aligned with that. But you know what I found? I found that this is a really great business model with integrity. It's a member of the Direct Selling Association, and I've since educated myself on, what pyramid schemes actually are. The fact that they're illegal with no product involved, this couldn't be further from that. I'm really comfortable and excited with what we're doing here. Okay, feel, felt, found. It's just agreeing with them, being empathetic, and showing them a solution. It'll work every single time, and tell them a story afterwards. Okay, perfect. Okay, let's try one. Aaron, it sounds really, really great, but I just don't have time. Perfect, John. Not a problem whatsoever. If that's your only objection, we're on the way here. You don't need a lot of time to really get ahead fast with Janess. Let me tell you a story of an example with that. And then you may tell my story of working 100 hours a week. Hey, Aaron, it sounds great, but I just don't have the money. Perfect. To start with Janess, you don't need a lot of money. This is not a franchise that's going to cost you $250,000, $100,000, $50,000. It's not even going to cost you $1,000. Okay, let me show you how you can get started with just $300. We can enroll an ambassador pack, have that money on your card pretty much straight away. So what's another one? What's another objection that people say? They might say, look, I don't know anybody. Perfect. With Janess, if you can enroll one good person on your left, one good person on your right, you're going to be in the money straight away. You don't need to know a hell of a lot of people with Janess because we can show you some marketing strategies that we've got. We can show you how we utilize social media. I can go through your phone right now and show you how you can, with a J mobile app, you can text that whole database in your phone, Facebook, and we can have customers and business builders ready to go within the next 48 hours. It's really perfect because you don't need to know a lot of people. Okay, so you're just agreeing with people, showing them an easy solution to their objection. Okay, answering a question with a question. Okay, so let's try one. Aaron, sounds great, but I just don't have the money to get started. Okay, let me ask you this question, John. If I had a $300,000 Ferrari out the front right now, and I was willing to sell that to you for $300, but you had to get the money to me in the next hour, could you do that? So you're answering a question with a question, and you watch them show you and demonstrate how they would easily and very quickly get you that $300 for that Ferrari very quickly. Because in their mind, they're thinking $300, I could sell that Ferrari for $500,000 and I'm home. And you say exactly. So what you're telling to me is you can get $300 if you value something enough. What do I need to show you to show you that Jeunesse is much better than just a once-off payment of a Ferrari. Do I need to show you some further value in this, some further information? Because what I'm here to show you is a business opportunity that can set you up for life with residual income. So people can always find the money to do anything they want that they really, really value. It's many, many examples of that. Aaron, sounds great, but I've been warned off these pyramid schemes. Okay, let me ask you, what is a pyramid scheme? And then complete silence. Whoever talks next loses. Okay, and let them answer that question. And most of the time they'll say, oh, look, I don't really know, but I don't want to be involved in one. Is this one of them? Or I'm not really sure. Or is that one of those things where people at the top make all the money? And then you can have a little giggle to yourself and say, look, I don't need to be rude, but it's just funny when people answer that question because, pyramid schemes have been illegal since the 90s. They should be because people always lose money. And there's no product attached to it. Where you look at Jeunesse, the question to ask yourself is, would people buy this product whether there was a business opportunity attached to it or not? And the answer is unequivocally yes. A lot of people will end up just being wholesale customers. It's no different. It's just a different business model, buying product online wholesale. If you want to build the business, we've got people that, Jason Karamanis started 1 year after Kim, and he's making more money than her now. And there's many, many stories of people that have done that. So it's not whoever's at the top, it's whoever works the hardest. One of the fairest business models on the planet that's overlooked by a government agency, a legal entity called the Direct Selling Association, which we're a member of, etc., etc. So you answer that question with a question. And just tell stories. So when people say, I don't have the time, say, hey, I'm working with a guy, Aaron, and you could probably tell your own story because we're all busy. He was working 100 hours a week. He owned 2 gyms in Sydney with 7 hours per week. He was able to replace his income in 9 months. You don't need a lot of time. Let me show you how we can find you some extra hours in a day. Okay, if you really value it enough, if you really want to do this, if you're really hungry, if you really want to put your kids through that education like you told me, if you really want to travel the world like you just told me, you can always find time. What sacrifices are you prepared to make? No television, no social events, those types of things, you can find time very, very quickly. If people say, hey, look, I just don't think I can do this. I've never done anything like this before. Say, hey, look, I know how you feel. Let me tell you about a story about this girl that started 6 months ago, Taylor Daly. She was 20 years old when she started. She didn't know anything about anything, never done business before, certainly didn't know about network marketing, and now she's a Sapphire Elite making full-time income, traveling around the world at age 22. You don't need to have that skill level yet. We'll teach you all that. You've just got to have the hunger and be coachable. Okay, so I always tell stories of somebody that fits the situation of the objection that they're telling me. And that's why you need to know lots of people's stories. That's why you need to go to the live events and hear people's stories and write them down and put them in your memory bank, because they'll always be able to help you overcome an objection. Because if you can say a real person that has overcome their objection and gone on to be successful, that person will think, well, I can too. Very, very powerful is stories. So I hope that helps you. Feel, felt, found, perfect, question with a question, tell stories. They're the best ways to answer objections. And you just need to have all that repertoire up your sleeve for when they do come. Now, we've done all that. We're an incredible person. We've turned ourselves into Richard Branson and Oprah Winfrey. Everyone wants to join with us. There's still going to be people that their brains don't quite work fully, that aren't going to join us, that have objections. We answer them perfectly and they still don't join. It just comes down to the wrong person. Okay, it doesn't mean they're a bad person. It just means they're the wrong person for what we're doing with Jeunesse right now. It may just be the wrong timing. I didn't join network marketing for 8 years, despite a lot of people hitting me up, because it's just the wrong time for me. I was busy starting up traditional businesses. Was I the wrong person? No, I've gone on to be successful in this industry, so just wrong timing. So you can't beat those two things, okay? So if someone still isn't prepared to join up or buy product, make sure you ask for referrals. Okay, that's how my business got started, was by asking for referrals from good entrepreneurs who put me onto other entrepreneurs. Okay, so never go away from a phone call or a meeting without getting something positive from it. At the end of the day, you've got a customer or you're asking for referrals. And as we all know, it's a numbers game. Some will join, some won't. So what? Move on. next person. We know it's a numbers game. Just move on to the next person. But don't leave money on the table if someone doesn't join your business just because they've got a silly objection. You need to get good at answering those objections. So guys, hope that helped you out today. Again, it wasn't just about scripts on how to handle objections. I mean, we can do hours and hours of training on that. I mean, you go and write down your 20 top objections that you're getting, ring me up and we can role play how to answer them. But if you take the feel found, telling the stories and agreeing with people, question with the question, it's not rocket science for you to be able to answer those objections. Just get good at practicing it. So say it out loud, because you've got to verbally practice saying it so it runs off smoothly. So I might take any questions that people have now, and we'll wrap it up. I'll put this training up on the YouTube channel. Make sure you refer it to your team, because it's really priceless stuff for them to know. And we'll see you again next Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for another training for anybody that wants to go diamond now or in the future. Make sure you're passing these diamond trainings onto your team and really emphasizing the importance of getting on to these trainings, because very, very important. And there's just something about getting on there live that really makes a difference. I know a lot of people are working and can't make 12 p.m., but, you know, people have a lunch break. It's a great time for the US team to be on this call. So make sure you really forward that link on and emphasize you're going to get quality training always from a quality distributor. So thanks everyone for joining us today. We'll see you again next Thursday. If you do have questions, just type them in your question tab there and I'll get them answered for you.